Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing 5 tips which you can use to improve your art. Before we get into today's time-lapse and discussion though, the painting that you're seeing today is available as a print over on my Etsy shop. I will leave the link as a card up above and in the description below. If you're interested in checking out any of the materials that I've used, I've listed them in the description and left links to where you can find them as well. So 5 tips to improve your artwork. This is something that I always get asked on social media. I constantly get people message me, especially on Facebook, and say, oh, you're really good at art, how can I be as good as you? You must have been born with a natural talent. And I always reply, no, I haven't been born with a natural talent, and there are ways which I have used myself to improve my art, because believe it or not, I wasn't as good at drawing or painting as I am today. It's all come with practice over time. So the number 1 tip that I always give people is to spend longer on your drawings or your artwork. If you're only putting in half an hour or an hour and you're seeing bad results or results which aren't living up to your expectations, try putting in a little extra time and seeing if that makes a difference. I always find that if I have a commission that I'm working on, if it's taking me a short amount of time, I'm never happy with the results because it feels as if I've rushed a piece. If I was to spend a couple more hours refining it, going back over details and just looking at my work and seeing if there are any errors or anything, just spending that extra time and just taking my time with the drawing in general, it helps create a big difference in the final piece. So always take your time, spend longer than you usually would, and see if you get results that way. That leads me straight on to tip number 2, which is self-critique. And that is basically looking at your work, seeing where your faults are and seeing where you need to improve, and just looking at your work and thinking to yourself, what could I do to improve this? Could I perhaps try a different technique? Could I draw or paint something in a specific way? What worked and what didn't work within this piece, and how can I improve on that in the next piece? Or if I was to try this piece again, what would I do differently? So that is another tip, to always make sure that you self-critique to see what you like and don't like within your piece, because chances are if you don't like it, a lot of other people won't like it either, so best change it to make sure that it is what you like and what you want to see within your work. So tip number 3 would be to practice your art daily. I know a lot of artists always say you don't necessarily need to practice daily, but I always find that having something and drawing something each day really helps to hone your skill. Even if it's something that you don't necessarily want to draw, just sit down, draw for 5 or 10 minutes just to practice your freehand skills, just to practice a certain technique, or just basically doing anything creative will just help you get in the right mindset to be creative, which then helps to hone your technique and just basically makes you want to sit down and create. Anything that you do to practice daily is going to help you in the long run. So what I used to do, if I knew I wanted to draw pet portraits, so what I would do is sit down and draw things related to pet portraits. So I would sit down and draw my dog, anatomy of different dogs, so noses. I would practice fur techniques. I would just do daily little tasks and daily little sketches just to keep me creative on a daily basis. So tip number 4 would be to experiment with different brands of things. So if you're using a set of coloured pencils, for instance, perhaps you're using Derwent colour pencils and you're not getting the results that you personally want to see within your work, try switching to a different type of material, because that type of material that you were using might not necessarily be productive and get you the results that you want to achieve. So try changing to a different type of material, perhaps try changing your paper, switch to a more expensive brand of pencils, or just trying some different things will help you identify what you actually want to work with and what works with you to get the results that you want to see. For me, I have tried different types of colour pencil. I've tried Derwents, I've tried the Polychromos, I've tried Caran d'Ache, Luminance and Pablos. I really don't get on with the Pablos anymore, but I find that the Polychromos and the Luminance work really well with me to get the results that I want to achieve. So I've tested different brands. I've also used different brands of paper and just found out what works with my style of working. And that has helped me improve my art. I've seen the standard jump just by solely using the brands of pencils and paper which work for my techniques. So the last tip, and I think is the biggest tip that I could give you guys, and that is to allow yourself to make mistakes within your art. Everybody makes mistakes on a day-to-day basis, so why shouldn't you be able to make them in your art as well? Making mistakes in your art helps you to grow, and it helps you to understand where you went wrong and where to improve next time. It's kind of goes hand in hand with the self-critique tip. But allow yourself to make mistakes. Forgive your mistakes that you make within your art, because those mistakes are what make you better, because you can learn from them. So by allowing yourself to make those mistakes, you're helping yourself to grow as an artist. So those are just 5 short tips to improve your art. I think all of them are really important to apply to your work if you want to improve. If you would like to see more of this type of video, some more art topics and some art Q&As, leave me a comment on this video, and also suggest to me what kind of art Q&As and art topics you would like me to discuss. Are there any particular topics that you want help with? Leave them as a comment below, and don't forget to like this video too. Also, if you would like to see longer drawing and longer painting tutorials, then head over to my Patreon page. I have over 75 videos on there of useful, helpful content for just $5 per month. So that's it for today's video, guys. Hopefully these short tips will help you to improve your art. I will catch you in my next video. Bye!